Hello, welcome back to Prison Architect. I have returned from my wonderful vacation, and with me I have brought a wonderful, fantastic new idea for a prison. This is something I have gone a little bit over the top with. I really did not know where to stop while I was setting it up. I have spent 6 hours and 40 minutes designing and planning this thing out, and I just kind of started building it as I went on, and well, this is the result of 6.5 hours work of just building and mucking around with what I wanted to do with Prison Architect. So, this is a prison ship, or a prison shuttle, to take prisoners up into an orbital facility. I haven't quite finished it yet. I started planning things out and how things are going to work and what's going to happen with it, and I decided let's just stop and let's try and build it together, because I don't want to finish this thing and just, show off a finished product. So, yes, alright, we have the front of the ship, or the bridge, what do you want to call it, but we have the warden, all the offices, the power station, staff room, all important bits, and also the one and only way in and out of the prison. We have this section here, the cargo hold, I suppose you'd call it, as a airlock system behind a few gates, so if we lock it down it kind of seals it and a lovely air raid siren goes off, so it looks pretty cool. I also have these blast door mod installed, which is really, really cool. It essentially, they're like remote doors, but a lot more hardcore. Obviously, I'm just using them as airlocks, so nothing too fancy there. I highly doubt I'll need to ever close them, but they're there just in case. We do have standard doors as well, blocking them in, so security is there, but the blast door's there to look cool, and it works, I guess. Right, so prisoners will arrive on a shuttle or a bus, depending on where they are. We'll say we're on the planet, so we haven't quite taken off and headed to the facility yet, so we're still loading up the prisoners. They will arrive in a bus into the cargo hold, get transported through the main corridor into reception, get searched and have their uniforms handed to them. We have two very large holding cells or holding tanks for prisoners, so this is designed around mass intake, this kind of design, because you don't really have small amounts of prisoners rock up when you're essentially transporting them to somewhere else. You have large amounts rock up and then go at once. So we have two very large holding cells that hold 228 prisoners on both ends. Well, sorry, I mean total, not both ends. 114 per wing. We do have the canteen just behind it with the kitchen, which hasn't been built yet, along with extra cells and whatnot. This ship is huge. It's massive. This is 3 expansions. Hold on, 4 expansions of land. So this is huge. This is a massive, huge, ginormous, massive ship. When I first decided to design this ship, I put the canteens and kitchens here in the middle, thinking, oh yeah, I won't need that big of an area. It should be fine. These two hold 96 prisoners total, so not that many at all. But what I'm thinking is I'll turn these into protected custody areas and then make these two, I was going to call them balls, but we'll call them tanks for reasons, as protected custody zones. But I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to design them yet, because they're all kind of circle and not square. So we will figure that out as we go. I've made a shower area, which used to be a cell block, but I decided to change my mind and make it into a shower block, because I'm not going to put showers in between each individual cell. Which should make things interesting, because we're going to have a very large number of prisoners rushed to a small shower block. That should be fun. Yes, indeed. But yes, we have the two tanks for protected custody. We could use these last two as supermax if we need to. We're not taking on any death row inmates, because it's a prison transport ship. It's just designed to get them from Earth to the orbital prison, where the biggest and baddest people will go. So yes, they have individual holding tanks for different zones of prisoners. So the main prison population will be medium security, with the... Actually, no, sorry. Let's make it high security. Let's make this the worst of the worst. We will have the 2 tanks for supermax and protected custody, so we can remove some prisoners from general population if they do cause problems. We do have a shitload of space though. Like, we have a lot. If we just leave them in the holding tanks, that's still 228 prisoners to put in there. So there's a lot of room. We could build additional cells at the back here or turn this into reform programs like the workshop, classrooms, visitation, etc. I'm not too sure how much I will put into that though, because this is a prison transport ship, not a luxury standard Earth-based prison. So I may keep reform programs to in-house stuff only, like, well, what can we do, really? Programs. Kitchen safety and hygiene, we could do that. Carpentry, yes. Foundation education, probably not, no. Behavioral therapy, yes. Treatment of drug addiction, yes. Group therapy, yes. Parole hearings. That's kind of a yes, but no, but yes kind of thing. I mean, we could have a little room for it, but it's not required. Spiritual guidance, it requires a outside person, so no. Death row appeal, we're not taking death row anyway, so it doesn't matter, and obviously workshop. Okay, how many prisoners can we take in at once? 300 at the moment, okay. There's 300. Oh, 300 total. Okay, so there'll be 100 during our first go. Okay, that's fine. We can take in 100. That's okay. We do need to get more of the prison set up. But first, let's just keep planning it out, get things ready and sorted. Now, I've turned events off in the planning phase, but I'll probably will turn them back on again. I have a bit of an issue with the events though, because it is random. And while I do like the randomness of it, it doesn't really target certain randomness features. I don't really understand why a randomness feature would target specific areas. But what I mean is, I don't want the warden to call me to say I have a fence broken when it's not that type of prison. It's designed around getting them into a ship and then taking them to an outer, off the planet type deal. So the fences are just here for decoration. So yes, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with the events. I want to turn them on, but I want to kind of be specific on what events I get. But I'll figure something out. I will figure it out. I am using a couple of mods. Let's have a look what I am using. Recycle programs for extra money. Don't really need it because I got limited funds on, but whatever, it's there. Vanilla enhancements because this looks better. The Space Prison mod. Now, there has been a lot of flack on the Steam page about this mod. Apparently the author has stolen assets from other mods and hasn't credited them, and everyone just doesn't really like him. But I don't know how much truth there is behind that. I haven't done much really into it, and his spelling is fantastic. Click. Okay, that's fine. But essentially, I like the mod. It's good. It does what I need to do. It's cool. And obviously blast door as well. Easy peasy. Alright, let us get into it. So, into planning phase. Here we go. So, these are going to be solitary cells. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 solitary cells total. They can be expanded if required. These will just be general population. We'll have solitary cells in each Supermax and protected tanks as well. So, they will have their own version of solitary. Also, we have yards in the middle tanks as well. But they will be a general population. Protected in the Supermax will have their own yards somewhere. I don't know where yet. These tanks they're not really expandable. So maybe just have a yard in the back here. Like a small 4x4 zone kind of thing. Like nothing fancy. Rightio. So solitary general population, solitary in there, yada yada yada. These will be the stock standard kind of luxury high kind of fancy cells. Again, general population. I've only got 12 of them, so expanding them will be required. It's probably in these wing sections at the back here. I don't quite know yet. I could even transform these into workshops and have them like a general population workshop area. But that is something in the long haul. I haven't quite decided yet. But anyway, these wings here are just decoration. I'll probably put things in them anyway. Along with these little nipples, I suppose you'd call them. I don't know. I kind of just put them in because it felt a bit empty at the front here and just having little wings just kind of end. So I will probably put something in there for holding cell. Maybe showers, because I don't really want huge holding cell people rushing from there into here because they won't fit. So I'll probably put some showers in there. And yes, that is the prison layout. That is the prison layout. As for utilities, I've gone a bit overboard with this because I don't want to have an issue with power when I can't build them later on. So I built all the power stations and water pumping stations inside the ship, so nothing is external. So 2 water stations, one for backup, one for, well, just 4. Reason I built 2 is it kind of distributes the load over 2 sections of the ship. If one doesn't quite fit the entire ship, I can just change it around to fit elsewhere. I can move it elsewhere. Given the fact that the large pipe is run down the middle of the ship, it should reach every destination, but I wanted to have 2 on either side, or 1 either side rather. It just looks cool, really. With the vents turned off, it doesn't really matter if they work or not. They are linked in the middle here though, so if I do cut water to this section here, water will still flow through those pipes. So it's just a long haul failsafe, really. That's all it is. Okie dokie. Utilities, that's all it is. We have some storage tanks and storage areas up here as well. I built them just to fill in the gap because I wanted to have the ship kind of... It was hard to build it with the road in the middle. I wanted the road on the left-hand side here so I could build the entire ship backwards. But it just wouldn't work out. And then I decided, oh, maybe I could just build the ship from right to left. But then it just didn't work out either. So I thought, stuff it, let's just get the stuff done and we'll just build it backwards. And yeah, that's where we are now. So yes, planning time. Planning time. I said that, what, 4 times now and we still haven't done it? We'll probably wall off this entire section here and make it into a corridor. So essentially these tiles here are the arteries of the ship. That's where your main walking sections will be between certain zones. This complete back of the ship here is staff only. I made that because the last door out is, well, the last door out. I haven't decided what I'm going to do in that yet. Probably armories. I will have to demolish a certain part for a kennel, but it's only limitation by the game, not because of the design. But yes, that is how... Well, I'll just show you, it'll be easier. That is the design so far. I didn't really know what I was doing with this bit here. I just decided to throw it in, so... That will be all general population. It won't matter. Well, actually, I could just make it all Supermax, really, couldn't I? Oh, now my dog's growling. Yes. Very cool looking, indeed. Let's go back to planning. Let us go back to planning. So, we do need big areas for things. God, can I be any more vague? I do need big areas to put in the needs, essentially. So, got the chapel, parole, I'm very hesitant about the parole room. I don't think it's required in this type of prison because it's a ship. It's designed to take people elsewhere, not as a permanent solution. But I think I will have to build it anyway to keep needs, you know, at a certain level. Infirmary, that will probably be a big one because I suspect a lot of fights will break out in these huge holding tanks. Let's see. Execution, not really worrying about. Workshop. Workshop. I will probably have a few of these, maybe like 4 or 5. I know there's a certain limit or certain certain amount you can build to get max proficiency out of them. I don't know what that exactly is. I have to check it to see what it is exactly. But I could build I could build one either side. That fits in quite nicely to have a... I've got a 17 by 17. How would that work? Then if we wall those two in, like so. Actually, I don't need to wall it in. I could just make it all the way to the end there, couldn't I? That would work out better, I'd reckon. Workshop. Of course, they can be outside as well for some unknown reason. There we go. And then that, if that's all walled up there, workshop. There we go. So that can be our 2 workshop areas for, again, general population. I think I will build classrooms into this prison, just for the fact that it's going to work out better with them. But we could have them as such. How big would that be? 10... Well, if I make that one more... That's what's that, 11... 11... So we've made them 10 by 11s. 10 by 11, 10 by 11. That's 9 by 11. So 9 by 11 will have to do. And then the last one will just be to the end. So we'll have one part classrooms. There we go. We'll have like a little corridor going into there. Classrooms. That's a lot of classrooms here. It's a lot. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 classrooms is pretty... It's a lot. It's a lot more than you'd expect, really. We can use those as guard training and... yeah, I think I'm going to have to just bring in external reform programs. I don't think it's going to work otherwise with needs. Yeah, they can be there. We can also change these around to have a chapel or a mail room, things like that. What else we need? Infirmary. The infirmary is going to be a big one. I suspect that will be a pretty big one. First, let me wall this section here off to staff only. We might as well do that now, actually, while we build the rest of it up. Where did I put that door? Was it there? Oh, no, it was closer to the thing. So it was there. There we go. Alright. That'll be the staff-only area, which will leave us this area here for whatever purposes, I suppose. How big will the infirmary need to be, though? Really? If we have 4, 6, 8, 27, 26. So what's that? 13 beds. And we have another 13. Was that 26? 39. And have one more. That'd be a pretty huge infirmary, I reckon. I think if we have the... Well, do we really need a big infirmary? Is that... Oh... I think we will. I really think we will. But what we'll do instead, though, is have them from the back wall down to there. Then there's also... Oh, we could... It's off by 1, so it's a bit... It's annoying, that little one section there, but that will do. And then what we could do there is have the morgue kind of cut away into this section here. Have the doorway in here into the morgue for... Oh, it's not going to work, really, is it? And then that could be a pathway elsewhere. Oh, we could just put the morgue in this section. Oh, man. We could knock off a few beds and then make the morgue in there, which will give us... Oh, it's not going to work at all, is it? Take off 2 more beds, so then we have morgue slab, morgue slab, morgue slabs, morgue slabs, morgue slabs, morgue slabs, and the walls there. Now that will work, because then we have the doorway into the infirmary there as a 2-door. and then have the infirmary, then the morgue. Okay, that will work out pretty well then. Infirmary. Let's just mark these so I won't forget them later. Infirmary, morgue. Morgue. There we go. We have no common rooms yet. No common rooms. Yeah, so these will be showers. I'm going to mark them now because I will forget and everything will break loose, and I don't want that. Let's de-zone this crap here. There we go. Shower, shower, shower. Problem with building things so abstract like this is it takes a lot of time to build them up and have them sit in a certain area. I just like my squares where I just do that and it's done. But it looks cool. It really does. It adds depth to it, that's for sure. Right, so I have 2 shower blocks for each holding wing. The shower there as well for these guys. Canteen for everyone. Obviously canteen will be different for Supermax and protected custody. Right. Classrooms, workshops, morgue, infirmary. Right. Should we go all the way and... I think we will need to build visitation. I think we will. Oh, and the laundry. That's probably the most important one. The laundry. The laundry, the laundry, the laundry. It may even work out better to have 2 laundries. There's no minimum requirements for them. So if we have like a 10 by 7, have 2 of them there. Have a wall down the middle here. And then doors there. Yep, okay, cool. So what I might do quickly as well is make that a walkway before I forget. Yes. Okay. So that will have the walkway in there, the 2 laundries there, cleaning cupboards, cleaning cupboards, cleaning cupboards. I think this will probably be our work ethic area. I don't know what that means. Work ethic area. Our workers area, I suppose. So 6 by 3, 6 by 3, 7 by 3. If we have a couple of them, along with the walls down the middle to separate them. And then more here. Cleaning cupboard. That way I can limit my use of staff in the prison. I'll still have janitors and everyone else, but I can limit the number of them of how many I have. There we go. So that'll be our cleaning area. Let's also make that a walkway. There we go. We still have this area here, so we could use this area here as a shop. Oh, it's not gonna work though, because we need a corridor there. So we have this area here. Now what we could do there is we could have the... Oh, maybe it must be 5 by 5. We could make the mail room that area there, and then have a what can we put behind it? Maybe the common room will probably fit there actually. If we have the common room there and the mail room there, I think that will work out better. And then on this side here, we could have the library take up 11 by 11, and then the shop could take up 11 by 11. Oh, there's how many spaces like this? 4. I'll bring up a bit more then. If we do 13, where's the library? There we go. Still not really equal, but that's fine. We'll make the shop 1 bigger. Shop. Oh god, wrong one. Wrong one! Where'd it go? Shop. There we go. Alright, then if we wall that up there, we could have the shop access there, and then have the shop fronts. Maybe have one objects for 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shop fronts. And the library will just have a doorway there, I guess. I think that will work as well. I think it will work as well. Alright. Well, that filled in the back of the ship pretty quickly. We still have more room here as well to do things, so we do have a lot of room left. We could still build a chapel. That could fit nicely in one of these areas here. Maybe even 2 chapels, really. Yeah, I don't see why we don't need more than one. Let's put a couple in. A couple of them will be good. Should we split them up or have the chapels in one area? That's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Well, the pathways come down like so. Let's just build that up now before I forget. The concrete tile, white tiles, there we go. The same with this bit here as well. There we go. Alright, so I reckon this bit here will just stay as probably another cleaning cupboard, actually. That would fit nice as a cleaning cupboard. 3x3, yeah, cleaning cupboard again. That'll be staff only for the last door out of the prison again. I suppose we could then have... how big does the chapel have to be? 6x6. Come on. Come on. That's okay, because then we can just build this out like so. And then have a big chapel. 14 by... Was that 14 by 8? 14 by 8, yeah. And then just have maybe another one down here as well. 16 by 7. Which should leave me just... Oh, that's okay, we can just do that. Rooms. Walls. At least that way we still have a walkway through here. Like that. So then the walkway would be... 1, 2... like that, I would imagine. So we've got 2 chapels. Probably got 2 more over this side as well. Because I know how popular chapels are. We still have to build up... could put more common rooms in. Parole room, maybe. I don't know, that... Yeah, I think that should do it, I think. So if we have that one come through to here... Same type of style. I'll be up here. So how big was that chapel again? Chapel. It was 2 there, wasn't it? It was 14 by 8. That's 15. Oh yeah, because of the wall there. Yep, okay. 14 by 8, then that would be a wall like so, and then to there. Minus that bit. That's not right, hold on. That bit, there we go. And then that will be a chapel as well. There we go. Cool, so that will be what the prison will look like, I reckon. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good, I reckon. It's a lot of uniforms, holy crap. We still have areas to build. We still have this back area here, these 2 areas, and the whole back of the ship. Plus these storage tanks if we really need to build over there. But I don't think we will. But yes, next time I'll probably... Actually, how big does a kennel have to be? Kennel. 5 by 5. We could build the kennel at the back here. Oh, does it have to be outside, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. I always thought kennels had to be outside. Obviously, it mustn't be with this new mod. Okay, that works out better then. We have the kennel there. That's cool. Yeah, we'll put the kennels somewhere. Probably at the back of the ships here. If we wall this off and make it a staff, well, it's all staff only anyway. It doesn't really matter. We could make this entire zone here the kennel. Fill it right in. It does have to be enclosed, so if we get rid of that bit there and then wall that bit off, then that will be the kennel. We'll have one more over this side as well, so we'll fit, I don't know, maybe 50 dogs in there, I reckon, total. And that should be enough to patrol the entire ship. But yes, the design's coming quite nicely. We still have to build a security room and armory, probably a second staff room at the back here. Visitation, I'm really not sure about. I'm really not sure. I'm tempted to put visitation in at the back of the ship here, but that would mean visitors will have to walk from this entryway through literally the entire prison to here. So I might convert one of the protected tube tanks into visitation, but we will get to that and we will figure it out. But yes, that is how. Why is there no lights there? Why is there no lights there? Let's build you up because it's pretty dark down there, isn't it? Okay, but that is essentially the design of the ship. That is how I envision it. But yes, things are going well. We have made a plan. We are 7 hours and 12 minutes into this prison. I've done one video so far. Things are going good. But yes, until next time, I will see you all later.